Will there be two ink machines in Bendy and the Ink Machine Chapter 3? Hey you prodigies, ProdCharles here, and in this video I'll be discussing Bendy and the Ink Machine Chapter 3. This one will explain whether we will see a second ink machine. If you'd like more horror game discussions, theories and secrets, remember to subscribe and tap that bell, as on top of the many theories I've already made, there will be more to come. And if you cannot watch this video all the way through right now, remember to tap Add To and select Watch Later to save your progress. Or just do it for fun. So, what's going on? In Bendy and the Ink Machine Chapter 2, Samuel Lawrence, the music director at Joey Drew's cartoon studio, tries to sacrifice Henry, the protagonist, to a demonic form of the main character of the cartoons, Bendy. After fighting some of the inky monsters known as the Searchers, Henry continues through the corridors of the studio and comes across a room with what seems like a pool of ink. If Henry tries to approach the door at the other end of this room, Bendy will appear and try to take Henry's life. However, moving to this room backwards results in Bendy not spawning, and Henry being able to reach that door. This is where things get interesting. While that door is locked and we cannot open it, we can stand by the door and listen into what's happening on the other side. What we can hear are what seems to be gears turning and a character whistling. Some have said that this whistling could have been another character, such as Wally Franks or Boris, but we've already discussed that in other videos. This video will go into more depths about the gears that we hear. Some prodigies have proposed that these gears could be the sound of a working second ink machine. This could be the case, as when we enter Samuel Lawrence's office in Chapter 2, we can see that there are blueprints for an ink machine with the characters CK2 in the top right. The most common interpretation for this is that the blueprints are for a second ink machine for the studio. There are two ways to look at this at the moment. The first is that the blueprints are just outlines for the first ink machine that we come across, and there isn't a second ink machine. This means that the CK2 just refers to that machine as being the second model of that machine by the designers, or the blueprints are for a model branded as CK2, and that is the model of the ink machine that we see in Chapter 1. The second is that there is a second ink machine and that these plans outline how this machine works. This would make sense because whoever was working on that ink machine would have kept their plans relatively close to where the machine was located. This is provided that the door where Bendy spawns is where the second ink machine sits. Since what we hear behind the door sounds very much like what we can hear in Chapter 1 with the first ink machine, this is actually pretty reasonable. We should also consider that when we enter the cartoon studio, the first ink machine is broken, so the second ink machine could have been assembled to replace that first machine. Another case to consider is that the second ink machine could have been there to allow for ink to flow to the lower depths of the studio. That being said, it looks very possible that there are two ink machines. What do you think? Remember to subscribe and tap that bell for more cool and interesting horror game videos. If you love horror game theories, be sure to check the description for a link to all of the theories and secrets and prodigies. I really hope that these theories help you to expand on how you think, so it can help with how you go about your thinking in your daily lives. See ya!